Thank you for choosing CTN. And now it's time with Herman and Sharron.
I love you. Thank you for joining us.
That's right.
Isn't it good to be alive, honey?
It is.
It sure is. At our age, when we get up.
Every day is good, right?
When we get up and we go, we're breathing. It's a good day. I want to show you something. Dave, can you show on camera what our future will look like? There, okay. We've had our set that we've had for, let's see, I've been here 39 years. That's probably 30
years.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, about 30 years old,
More than that.
except it's gone through a lot of transitions.
Yeah.
So we're going to move to that. Bob DeAndrea is actually throwing me off of his set.
Literally.
Yeah, he goes,
We're done.
When the president looks you in the eye and goes, when are you getting off of my set? So,
We are.
but he's been so gracious and so lovely and so sweet and so
Yes,
kind and so wonderful. We have a guest today that she has written a book. I don't have enough accolades. My vocabulary isn't that large. But it is, I read so many books, you cannot believe, as you well know. Mm-hmm. And she has a book that literally, on the subject we're going to talk about, the best I've ever read on this subject. I mean, I told you this morning early in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know how somebody has a book and they cover everything you would ever want to know on this subject. I mean, I don't know how you do that, because usually because I read a lot of books and sometimes I'll go, they left this out, they should have covered this or whatever. And Janet Boynes has that book that you're seeing, Boynes. Did I say it right, Janet?
Yes, you did.
Janet Boynes, that you see on your screen, God and Sexuality. The most complete book on this subject I have, and I got a lot on this subject in my library, a lot of books on it.
We're dealing with it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I
world
mean,
nowadays.
Janet, it is so good to have
Yeah.
you.
It's so good to be back. It's been a long time.
You just
Yes, it
blessed me, I
has.
think, almost 10 years ago, and we connected.
Has been. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Should
So-
never happen like that again.
I know it. So how have you taken care of yourself? You were in Minnesota, right? And then you moved to Texas.
I moved to Texas almost 5 years ago, December. 7 years prior to moving to Texas, I would tell my friends that the Lord is moving me. I think as many times as I said, God is moving me, I think they wish I would have just moved. They said it was just, I said it so often. But then, Lord really spoke to my heart, and I heard it as loud as you and I are having a conversation in my spirit. And I heard Texas. And I said, Lord, you have 5 years to show me why you moved me to Texas. After that, I'm going back to Minnesota. So I started flying back and forth, because when you walk away from something, you need to build a new community, just like homosexuality. When you walk away from that life, you need to build a new community so you don't keep going back. Well, I was flying back and forth, and all my friends would go, so are you moving back? Because you are back here often. And I think I was getting lonely because I was 55 years old. I just turned 60 in April. Praise the Lord. Still single. Any good men out there?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
60.
I know. That's crazy.
Whatever you're doing, you need to. Is it in a bottle that you take? I mean, seriously.
Stay
It's the
young.
skin, that's what
pills
it
to
is.
pigment
It
your
is
skin.
amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. But let me say this. So as I was flying back and forth, when they said to me, so are you moving back? And I said, well, no. And the Lord spoke to my heart and said, if you quit looking back, if you quit flying back, I can show you why I moved you forward.
Yeah.
From there on, I haven't been flying back and forth. So I've been staying planted. So
Okay.
he could show me why he moved me
For,
to Texas.
for those that just met you, I don't have my format.
That's okay.
For those that just met you, start at that point and bring us up to date, because there's a lot of people watching, because TV, the audience changes almost every time you do a program. I mean, you have a lot of, because we've built quite an audience, but you have new that come on. Begin at that place in your life.
It's been a journey. It's been a process. You know, it'll be 20 years that I have walked out that life of homosexuality. In 1998, the Lord had me meet a woman 3 o'clock in the morning, and the journey began. I went to church, rededicated my heart to the Lord, moved in with a Christian family, and that's where God really started working in my life, and my life started evolving and changing. That's where I got to see how a man treats his wife and vice versa. And then from there on in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it was amazing, because I wind up meeting this awesome guy that I thought I would marry someday. And as we were preparing for marriage in 1985, he was on the road all the time. He was a professional bike racer, and he was a drummer, but he was gone all the time. So I met this woman at work, and she started giving me all this attention. And he said to me, and I wish that I would have listened at that time, but I didn't. He said, "Don't you think you're spending a lot of time with this woman?" And I go, "Well, you're on the road all the time. I need friends." Well, her father was a pastor, so I didn't think anything was wrong with it. And I wind up hanging out with her on a weekend. And I slept with her that night. It was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. My fiance and I were preparing for marriage. And I wound up sleeping with her, and I went to the pastor the next day after I fell into sin with this woman. And he told me to call off my wedding, tell my fiance, and get some help. And I just met this pastor again after almost 20 years when I became ordained in Minnesota, April 20th of this year. You know, after 20 years, I ran into the pastor again. I got a chance to see him. But I wind up walking away from the Lord for 14 years. And that
So can you say walking away from the Lord, because
I was a Christian.
Okay.
I was born again 3 months before I was supposed to walk down the aisle. I called off my wedding 3 months before I was supposed to walk down the aisle.
So you were a lesbian?
I became a lesbian.
Okay. Was it something that ever entered your mind prior to?
It didn't enter my mind. However, growing up, I've always heard from family members or friends that, "Are you going to be gay?" Or I heard my mother say, "You shouldn't hang out with them, you know, them people. I don't want you to be like that."
Yeah.
But my brother, at an early age, was gay. And I don't talk about him often because he has passed. He had wound up getting AIDS in 1999, and he died of AIDS. And he was still gay at that time. I have to believe in my heart that he gave his life to the Lord, and I'll see him again. But my brother never saw freedom until he saw death. And I don't want others to go through the process that I went through to get to where I'm at today. But also, I don't want them to find their freedom in the grave. You can find freedom on planet Earth, as I did, after a period of, you know, living that life for 14 years. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a great time. Sin was fun for that season, and that's what the Bible says, sin is fun for a season. Oh man, I had everything. I had the women, I had cars, I had drugs. I mean, I got all the attention.
What did you do for a living?
I sold drugs, and I worked for a company called Controlled Data. That was way back in the day, you know. And then I worked for Honeywell. And my fiance and I both worked for Honeywell during that time, but I wound up calling off my wedding and walking away from the Lord for 14 years.
So at that time, you knew you wanted that lifestyle more than you wanted marriage to this guy?
Once I had that sexual experience, there was something that just pulled me right in. I didn't want to go back. When you wind up having, I didn't have a sexual relationship with my fiance. We were waiting to prepare for marriage. But once you have a sexual relationship with someone, whether they're of the same sex or heterosexual, you become one with them. And I felt like I became one with this
The Bible
female.
actually says that.
You know, I became one with her, even though it was wrong. It was a sexual experience that I have never had.
So
And
it was fulfilling to you
It was fulfilling
for 14
to me.
years.
Not that particular girl I was
Yeah.
in relationship, but for 14 years,
Yeah.
yes. However, as I said earlier, sin was fun for a season. But after that season, I was trying to find my way back, and I didn't know how to get back. I didn't know how to get back.
What made you want to get back?
I wasn't happy. When you
So it
become
wasn't
a
that
Christian,
fulfilling then?
for the first 5 years, it's almost like all these things that we search for fill a void, drugs or alcohol. You think that they're going to fill that emptiness and that void.
true.
These women filled that void. Drugs filled that void for a while. After a while, it no longer fulfilled me. I had a hollowness that nothing. I had an eating disorder. I was getting high all the time. I was rushed to the hospital. I put myself in treatment. Nothing was working for me. I was miserable. I think I was literally trying to kill myself.
We
Yeah.
hear about lesbians or guys, homosexuals, that they were molested. Were you?
I was. I was molested by my mother's husband and then by an altar boy. I was on my way. My sister and I, my youngest sister and I, used to follow my oldest sister to her father's house. That was her father. He wasn't my father.
Yeah.
I didn't know who my father was until I was 13. And on this particular day, he told my oldest sister and my youngest sister to go to the store. He sent them to the store, kept me behind, and he molested me. And months later, I was at church, and the bathroom was in the basement. So I'm going down to the basement to go to the bathroom. I go to close the door, and somebody pushed, and an altar boy wound up raping me. That was the only time I told my mother, because I was afraid, that he penetrated and I was going to be pregnant. Because she said, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. But I didn't tell my mother about her husband until I was 21 years old, out of fear, because my mother had an iron fist. She was a no-nonsense kind of lady. You just don't mess with her. We got beatings for everything. But I was molested twice. But let me say this about molestation and rape. 85% of women that are living a homosexual life have been molested. And now we're finding it's close to 60% of men who say that they're gay have been molested. It's a very high percentage. Of course, you're always going to get pushback, but that is a very, very high percentage. Many men now are finally coming forward saying, I was molested or I was raped as a kid. And it's normally by somebody they know.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Yeah. Pretty much always.
Were you born a lesbian?
No. It's no scientific evidence, but no. I was born into sin. But living a lesbian life, I chose that life. You just aren't born a homosexual. And I know many people want you to believe that they're born gay. You're not born gay. We're all born into sin, and we have to get to a place where we ask Jesus into our heart, where we can become born again.
You say in your book that homosexuality is a lifelong conflict.
It can be for many. It's not a conflict for me anymore. There's a lot of times that many people are tempted with so many things. Upon our salvation, the Bible never said we wouldn't have struggles or temptations or desires. Until Jesus comes, as long as Satan's on planet Earth, let's call him the liar and the father of lies, because he came up with all of this stuff that's wreaking havoc on planet Earth. But the liar that he is have convinced many that they were born that way. You're not born. There's two genders, male, female. Now the world is trying to say there's a third gender. I don't know if you've seen it, but now in 2018, you can have a child and name it male or female or non-specific.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know.
You don't have to call it either.
Absolutely
because the gay
crazy.
community is trying to do away with heterosexuality.
Yeah. They're going further and further down this road.
They're going further and further down that dark path.
You cover that in this book.
Yes, and they're trying to take us along with them. But we have to, as Christians, stand up. And that's what the problem is. Let me talk about what's happening even right now. Here in California, I'm not sure if you heard about it. California bill, the AB 2943, have you heard about that bill? Mm-mm. Well, the California Senate is now considering a bill, which is called the AB 2943 bill. And what this bill will do is it will stop, if it passes, it will stop us from having counseling, giving out books in California. Wow. You can't charge for counseling. Churches can't talk about counseling. You will not be able to do it. Right now, they're having rallies in California. They are fighting and praying that this bill does not pass. That's the path that we're headed down. They might as well just put shackles on us and throw us in jail, because many of us aren't going to stop. They're either going to sue us, or we're going to be fined. So tolerance
What happened
on
to
their
freedom
end.
of speech in this country?
It's not for the Christians anymore.
No, it's not for the
But it's
Christians.
only for
certainly
those
isn't.
that are living a homosexual life.
Yeah, and if you're a liberal or progressive, or whatever they want to call it,
pretty much.
you got total freedom.
It's pretty much more of the liberals, we can say that. But now things have changed, they've shifted. Because many families, even conservative families, even churches around the countries, have given in.
Yeah.
They have no longer want to fight. They don't want the backlash.
Yeah.
They don't want the gay community coming through their churches wreaking havoc. So what they do, they throw up the white towel and say, I surrender. Well, that's not even biblical. How are we going to help those that need to come out of that life or want to come out of that life if we don't talk about it in our churches?
Are you asked to come to churches?
I'm asked to come to churches, but there's many churches that really don't want to deal with the issue at all.
Yeah.
There's so many family members that have contacted Janet Boynes Ministries saying, will you talk with our pastors? We need help. We went to somebody in the church and they said, we don't deal with that here. You'll have to find somebody else. Or they'll hear about our ministry and say, hey, here's a ministry out there. Why don't you contact this ministry?
They're going to lose, members.
If they talk about it?
If they talk about it.
Yes and no. I believe there's so many gays and lesbians that are in our churches today that are waiting for the senior pastor to talk about it because it starts at the top. And when they open that door and they have compassion without compromise, I believe people's hearts are going to be open. You just have to bring the right person in to talk about the issue so we can draw people in. We're not trying to push them away. We want to draw them in. There's so many things I can ask pastors. Are you prepared for transgenders? Somebody that had reassignment surgery, which is the new thing.
You have that in
Bruce
the book
Jenner,
also, an amazing story.
I mean, Bruce Jenner himself.
Yes.
At first he was a transgender. Now he transitioned, getting ready to marry what the world calls marriage. I call it a civil union. I will not align them with marriage, as God said marriage was to be between a man and a woman. Bruce Jenner is about to have a civil union with a 20-some-year-old man who is now transitioned into a woman.
Well, he's never transitioned, right?
Yeah, he transitioned. He had reassignment surgery almost a year ago, January. He has transitioned all the way.
Well, you have in the book where a man did that.
Yes.
He was married.
Yes.
He was married and had the transition, and then years later,
no longer
felt that way.
Walt Heyer, and he's doing so well. You got to be so proud of this guy. He's in his 70s, and God is really using his story around the country. But many people are transitioning. When you think about our young kids who are being raised today in Christian homes, and they're 5 or 6 years old, and they go to their mom, boy, and say, I want to be a girl. Or a girl that says, Mom, I want to be a boy. Oh, well, wait a minute. We don't even give them driver's license, and we're going to allow them to transition into an opposite sex, which they were never born. Shame on you, parents. Now we have transgenders in libraries all over the country. You can Google it. They're sitting there reading as these parents are bringing their kids to the library, sitting there watching a man that's dressed up, as a woman with hair all over his chest, allowing our kids to say, hey, this is okay. So when your kid decide that they want to transition, now we know why, because you taught them that that's okay.
And they're teaching it where if they don't pass the test, they'll get a bad grade unless they agree with what the teacher says transgender is all about.
And kids are being disciplined. If there's a boy or a girl in the school or a teacher and you don't call that person the name that they want to be called, all these new pronouns, is and IZ and all these things, they're losing their jobs. So you're going to have to decide here in the 21st century what side of the fence you're going to be on. You're either going to be on for Jesus or you're going to serve Satan. You can only serve one. I choose to serve God. And the path that we are going down, assisting pastors and ministry leaders, hopefully all over the country, that change is possible through the power of Jesus Christ. Wow. It's a price to pay.
Chapter 3, can I be a Christian and be gay? That's chapter 3.
It's pretty oxymoronic, don't you think?
Yes.
You can't do both. You can't be a Christian and you can't be gay at the same time. The way I like to say it, just even on TV, is oxymoronic. You just can't do both.
So were you unsaved when you were living that lifestyle?
No, I was a Christian. When I decided to live the life of homosexuality,
so you can be a Christian and be gay?
I chose to walk away from my faith to live that life. I always believed that if I died, I was going to hell, living that life. I never believed that I was born that way, and I never believed, but there was a priest, a Catholic priest, that told me I can be gay and be a Christian. My girlfriend and I at that time went to get counseling. And I was thinking about transitioning into a man. And he said I would still go be with the Lord if I transitioned or if I stayed in that lifestyle in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wow. But I never did. And I thank God for that.
You say, especially with parents and families, don't be quick to label. Explain.
When you label your child gay or lesbian, it's almost like we have so many different genders out there.
Yeah.
The gay and lesbian. I mean, there's like 50, 60 different genders that they're calling people out there.
Yeah.
Why are we so quick to label somebody as gay or lesbian? I don't want to be known as a ex-gay, even though people say I'm ex-gay or you're an ex-alcoholic.
Yeah.
What I did was I went down the wrong path. I am the person today that God has really originated for me to be, a female, dressing as a female, looking like a female. Just so happens I'm not married yet, but I look forward to that day. But I don't believe that we should continue to label people because they're like Post-it notes and they stick on us. Can you imagine all the kids that are in schools, our young kids that are committing suicide have been labeled, you know, oh, you're a punk, or you're gay, or you're a fag, because they don't look like or walk like or talk like some of the really good-looking girls or some of the macho-looking guys.
Yeah.
So we put these Post-it notes, what I call, on people, and they start identifying with that after a while.
Have you ever been...
we don't have a homosexual problem, we don't have a drug problem, we don't have a gay problem. We have an identity crisis because people don't know who they are or who God has called them to be.
Yeah.
And they're listening to who the world says they are.
Instead of this,
Yeah.
who God says you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's what really matters. God will tell you who you are through His Word. And it's nothing but good.
Have you ever been involved in debates where, you know, they look at you like you are really screwed up, and this will change. You will eventually wake up one day and go, okay, I'm going back.
Yeah. You know, I haven't ever been in a debate where you have a big audience, but I have been on a couple secular TV shows where, you know, you have somebody who is against me in a debate, pretty much, but they allow them to talk more than me. You know, they'll let me get a word in every now and again, you know, let them sit and smash me. The hardest thing, I think, for those of us who are trying to stand up for righteousness, right standing with God, is the backlash that we're getting.
Yeah.
Do you know some of the foul language that comes out of the gay community's mouth? You can go to my fan page on Facebook and see some of the language that they put on there, which we have to, you know, block them, because they said, you know, we would rather see you burn in hell. You know, I'll come spit on your grave. I mean, if we said something like that, that'll be all over the headlines, you know. Pastor Janet, you know, told me she was going to spit on my grave. They can get away with that kind of stuff.
Well, it's like the baker in California or wherever.
Well, you know,
he said he got so many death threats. And
I was a part of that. I went to Washington, D.C. with, and people can Google it, with about 10 other African-American pastors at the Supreme Court steps. You know, we all did speeches during that time last year before he went to court, before December the 5th.
Yeah.
So it was an honor to be a part of that. But it also was a blessing to see how God moved in a miraculous way.
Exactly.
To give him his freedom of speech. But also what I heard is that the gay community was going to go to his bakery in Colorado and wreak havoc. Go in his shop and just wreak havoc. I mean, are you kidding me?
But what's interesting is...
They're such poor losers, aren't they?
What's interesting is they called him hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that, what would you call that? Is there another phrase?
No. They're more of the haters than we are. But what we would like to do, many people say, well, are we welcome in your church? Somebody just posted that on my Facebook page, because in Israel, they had over 250,000 gays or lesbians. You know, this June is Gay Pride Month.
Yes.
They don't get a day. Thank you, President.
Yeah.
I just lost his name.
Trump?
Trump, for not allowing the White House to support, you know, Gay Pride Month. But it was 250,000 gays and lesbians was in Tel Aviv this month for Gay Pride. 250,000.
Did you hear the backlash on the guy that is in charge of Facebook? He took a snapshot of his bill at Chick-fil-A, and he got
He had to apologize.
crucified.
Oh, he
so
should.
he apologized for eating in Chick-fil-A on Gay Pride Day.
You talking about the guy who started
Yeah,
Facebook?
yeah.
Hucking
Yeah.
Mark.
He
or whatever
happened
his
to
name
eat.
is.
But it was somebody at work there.
I guess
Oh,
right,
okay.
top executive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he showed his ticket.
He had a
And it-
picture with
and-
the cup with the Chick-fil-A on it, and he got in trouble for
And
that.
so he had to bow to pressure
Yeah.
Good,
in case he would lose his job.
good,
That he was sorry that he ate and would never do it again.
good.
Because it's a Christian organization.
Because
Well-
the head of it said that he believes man and woman
Yeah.
are God's design as marriage.
Well, that's their goal, and I think you hit the nail right on the head. That's why pastors and ministry leaders all over the country do not want to allow those of us to speak on this issue. But if we're going to talk about pornography, which is $1 billion industry,
Yeah.
do you know how many pastors are struggling with pornography?
Sure.
Do you know how many pastors have contacted Janet Boynes Ministries that are struggling with homosexuality and that their kids are struggling with homosexuality, that they've gotten counsel on the phone?
Yeah.
However, some of them never stepped into the homosexual act, and if they did, they didn't say anything to me about it. But there's pastors and ministry leaders struggling out there as well. They're human.
Yeah. Well, how about the one in Atlanta? Huge church. He just passed away. But, I mean, it was, he was obviously doing it on a regular basis with thousands, 10,000
that
coming to
was.
his church. And,
Eddie Long?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he died of cancer.
Yeah, well, he passed away, whatever
Yeah,
it was, but
yeah.
he's no longer alive. But,
Yeah.
but obviously, and then the people kind of smoothed that over. Isn't that interesting? After $25 million
I think it's
payout.
really sad when we have pastors who are going to be held accountable. Just like we are. You can do whatever you want, but you're going to be held accountable just like I'm going to be held accountable. Because when you know about this issue and you're not speaking on it so we can continue to help those that are struggling in our churches, parents who have kids who are walking away from their faith. There's more Christians that are walking away from
I
their
know.
faith going into the homosexual
That's
life
right.
than there are them coming out.
It's almost
We
like-
have to do better.
It's almost like they have permission because of this.
Well, they do have permission.
Yeah.
But when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Give us an opportunity, some of us who God has raised up for such a time as this, to come into your churches and help you have a better understanding. How do we work with those that are struggling in our churches and in our homes?
Again, go to that website on your screen as I speak. Get a copy of this. It has every area on this subject and then testimonies in the back of parents that have gone through unbelievable things. You will love it. Jesus Christ is your answer. God bless you. Bye-bye.